Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you're looking for jewelry that makes an impact on your self-care routine and your style, Empowerography would love to offer you a discount code to one of our exclusive partners, Quartz and Canary Jewelry and Wellness Company. Please use code EMPOWER15 to receive 15% off upon checkout at www.quartzandcanary.com. Quartz and Canary is truly the place where spirituality meets style. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guests are Haneih and Jen. They are the owners and founders of Lola Scrubz, based right here in Toronto. How you ladies doing today?
We're good.
We're doing great, Brad.
Stereo there. I love it.
You can't tell who's the difference between us, right?
No, I can't. I cannot.
Yeah, our voice sounds the same.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you both very much for taking the time out of your days to be here and share a bit about your story and your journey and become part and how you've become part of the Empowerography community. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking the time to share your story here with me today.
And you too. We wanted to say that we are very happy to be part of your Empowerography family. So
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. The honor and pleasure is all mine. So, as I mentioned, you two are the founding duo of Lola Scrubz. How long have you ladies been in business now?
Well, Lola still is a baby, as we would say. So we actually started it back in July of last year when, the hype of the pandemic was happening, gave us some time to really focus, but we're still perfecting it and we're still, growing it to what we want it to be.
Now, how did you come up with the name for the company?
Okay, so growing up, we had insecurities like every woman does. And I remember watching an episode of Oprah where Beyonce was on it. And she talked about how she was timid and insecure in real life. And she had to learn to tap into an alter ego to help her with going on stage and taking away her fears. So that really stuck.
Sasha Fierce, right?
Yes, Sasha Fierce. And that stuck with me. So my alter ego is Lola, and I tap into Lola whenever I need to kind of step outside of me, my fears, and into my power. So when I talked to Jen about it, it was like a no-brainer. She was like, that it's just symbolic to pick Lola as a name to embody the product. And then, I tap into I wrote a blog about why an alter ego was important. So that's kind of where the name came from.
I love it. I think that's awesome. That's brilliant. It's great marketing too.
It really is.
It is. It truly is.
It's an awesome name because when you think about Lola, you really think about, this woman that's strong, right? And powerful. To us, it is. And sexy, right? So that's how we see her. And that's what we wanted, Lola to be and how people feel. And they can just let out their inner beauty, right? So it really resonates with us.
Well, I got that. It's funny because I got that feeling before. I didn't know about how the name came about, but when you ladies say the name of your company, Lola, I just got the feeling that you're talking about the company like a person. It's like, exactly. Okay, that embodies it right there. That's perfect.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yep.
So what prompted or inspired you ladies to create the company, and why skincare products?
Well, to be honest, both myself and Haneih both have issues with our skin.
Okay.
I have sensitive skin, so it was really important for us to use natural products. And we have been obsessed with natural products from foods to beauty. And we constantly are researching and studying ingredients in the beauty products and really couldn't understand why some of these ingredients are actually being used and why they're so bad. So once we started to read it and educate ourselves, that's when we decided to test out the ingredients in Lola and really just realize that it was actually helping nourish our skin. With me having the sensitive skin breaking out, Haneih having eczema, we really noticed that it was helping both of us clear our skins. And that's when we knew, hey, you know what? We're actually onto something, and that we can help a lot of people with the same type of issues to help relieve, that for them.
Awesome. I love that. So how did you guys come to the discovery that caffeine and coffee is in essence a healer, because it's helping with skin problems. How did you where did that idea to even come from to start researching that?
Well, caffeine, it's been in beauty products forever, right? Like high-end beauty products use caffeine more for like things of, cellulite and smooth skin. So it's more of like maybe a little bit of a marketing gimmick, because it doesn't actually get rid of your cellulite caffeine, right? It's like a temporary fix. But our whole thing is like anything that comes from nature has some form of a benefit. And we wanted to study caffeine because it's everywhere, right? Coffee's everywhere. And then we're like, okay, so there's these companies that are these beauty companies that are selling this stuff for ridiculous prices. Let's really dive in and learn about the benefits of caffeine other than just like cellulite. And you start to see all these amazing benefits because of all the antioxidants. I mean, there's like some negatives with drinking it, and then there's some positives with drinking it that's come out, right? Research and studies are showing what it's good for. And then we're learning so much of what it's doing for the skin.
Amazing.
Because when we were doing our research and our homework, we were seeing that, hey, caffeine is helping to reduce inflammation. It is improving body circulation. It's giving that youthful, radiant skin. It's removing the dead skin cells. And we're seeing a list of all these benefits. And we're like, you know what? This is a key ingredient that we have to include in a product. Knowing that we were using it and trying it on ourselves, and we say, hey, look at our skin. It really is. It is improving the texture of our skin. It's reducing the puffiness. It's making my skin glow. So this is the product to go.
So caffeine and coffee is a huge part or a huge ingredient in your products that you sell.
And just to like be specific, we do use espresso beans. Okay. So we had to we're like, okay, there's a lot of coffee scrubs out there.
Yes.
Let's see what espresso does for you. So it is a stronger bean. It is, it's got a lot of its natural antioxidants and natural benefits already in that. And it's a little bit, I would say, more potent. Right. Okay. So that's another reason why we decided to play around with that.
Now, are you ladies coffee drinkers as well?
We are. Yeah.
Just curious. I just had to ask that.
You can't make a coffee scrub if you don't love coffee, right?
So like, no, we don't touch that at all.
No, I don't. Yeah. So what were you both doing for careers before you made the jump into entrepreneurship?
Well, both Hanieh and I were in the health and wellness industry, I would say, for quite some time, a number of years, where we were, maybe 10, 15 years.
Oh, okay.
And we were offering, and we were obviously in sales, and we were doing, corporate wellness programs, implementing them for corporations for their employees. So health and wellness has always been a passion for both of us and part of our career paths, really. So just transitioning into being an entrepreneur and doing Lola was just so simple and so easy, because that was already our passion and what we've been doing for the last couple of years.
So this transition was incredibly smooth. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Now, your brand is unique in the way that you use positive affirmation on your labels, which I think is absolutely amazing. I love that about your brand. I think it's needed, especially at a time like this. I think it's needed. I love it. What was the inspiration behind that? Why did you guys decide to put that out there and include these positive affirmations with your products?
Yeah. Really, because the beauty industry has been making millions off of our insecurities for years. So they've been telling us, what beauty is supposed to look like. Never when growing up did we see any type of advertising, marketing, commercials, billboards that said, accept your imperfections, love the skin you're in, Instead, I grew up learning, maybe it's Maybelline or maybe she's born with it. So if you're not born with it, right? Yeah, like who doesn't? If you're not born with it, then make sure you buy Maybelline and you will look like her. And because they told us this is what beauty is, this is what it looks like, this is what you have to buy to obtain that beauty. So as a company, like wanting to kind of dabble into the beauty industry, it was important for us to do our part and reminding younger generations and all women that there's no such thing as perfect. So embrace this perfectly imperfect movement, because I find a lot of the younger generations have more, body image issues than I've ever seen. I mean, I'm seeing like 12-year-olds that are like, no, I'm just going to have a salad. You know, I'm like, what? I don't, you know, so I mean, I wonder how different growing up in my adolescence would have been if I was constantly told to love myself. You know what I mean? So we want to do our part. So we're using the positive messagings on the product and then using our platform. Right?
I love it. I think it's amazing. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, in light of your messaging through your product and wanting to embrace a more realistic and natural standard of beauty, I'm going to assume, and you've briefly just touched on that, but you both are huge advocates of self-love and body positivity, women's empowerment. Can you each speak a bit about what these things mean to you on a personal level?
Yes. So, Jen here. So growing up, I was fairly overweight. I was exposed to a lot of bullying, being body shamed because, I was a bigger girl, right? It created a lot of insecurities for me, all throughout my high school years and then my university years. I was always very self-conscious. So it really caused me to not love my body and in turn really not love myself. And it wasn't until I would say my late 20s, early 30s that I realized that, you know what, I'm perfectly imperfect. You hear Hanieh and myself both say that and use those words.
I love that phrase, actually. I love it.
Yeah. And it describes how I feel or how I see myself, that I am perfectly imperfect. And that's the first step in loving your body. So it took some time to realize that, all the different ways that my body has developed in regards to having a scar, having discoloration, having stretch marks, having cellulite. That is me. And I love that about myself. So it's all about loving your body. It's about body positivity, women's empowerment. We have a lot of pressure starting at a very young age to be a certain way, to look a certain way.
For sure.
So that's why, now it's come to a point where it's like, hey, you know what? Love who you are. You're perfect. You're absolutely perfect. You are perfect to yourself and you're perfect to everyone else. Right. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise.
That's right.
So that to me is very important because growing up was a huge struggle because of the people I saw and how the people spoke to me, or, feeling uncomfortable when I went somewhere, or seeing things on TV that said, this is how you're supposed to be, as Hanieh was mentioning earlier. So now it's come to a point where I'm older and I'm like, hey, you know what? All these perfections, they're excellent. Love them.
Embrace them. Yep.
Exactly.
I love it. And Hanieh, how about you?
Same idea, right? Like, insecurities was a part of just growing up. And that was something like even within relationships and not being comfortable, and just the whole thing always came down to comparing ourselves to other women and what you saw in the media and what you saw in commercials. And it was just like never content. Like you always wanted something more, something like I always want to be different, look different, change my hair color. Mom, I don't like how I look, or, it was always something like that. So that was like huge. And like I mentioned, it came down to what I was exposed to growing up. I never had anyone say to me, love yourself. And, you made a good point, or your question is coming up, but about how, is it being overplayed, the whole loving yourself thing, right? Yeah. And a part of you think like, yeah, it's everywhere. But at the same time, I believe subconsciously it's going somewhere in us. Like if you have enough young girls coming across these messages on social media and everything, in the back of their mind, they're going to start to accept like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to love myself. Like F this, Yeah. And that's really where it came from. It was big for us to just be a part of this entire movement.
Well, I think it's incredible how you guys are using your product and your platform to reinforce this, because I think that things like this need to start with our children from a very young age. We need to ingrain these beliefs and these thought processes and this mindset from a young age so that it becomes part of who you are, who these kids are as they grow up. It's just in their DNA. They believe it. They know it. They grow up thinking it. They embody it completely.
Exactly.
And that's what needs to happen. That's where this all starts, is because if you start these positive affirmations from when they're kids, you won't be able to get that out of them. That's all they think and see and be. That's what needs to happen.
Yes.
Exactly. That's going to be their new way of thinking.
Yes.
Because the old way of thinking is not working.
No.
It's causing a number of issues in these younger generations, in these younger girls, because there's a lot of pressure for these girls, right?
For sure.
And we really have to, as the community, as adults, as individuals, to really support these younger generations. Because I really feel that if I was able to have some sort of, kind of empowerment group or someone to encourage me to love myself, I may have not had those struggles when I was younger, where I questioned the person I was, where I questioned the way I looked. So I think exactly what you said. It's so important to embed this new way of thinking about yourself, to love yourself is so important moving forward with these younger generations.
It is, for sure, because the media, and as you touched on, and we'll talk about now as well, the huge part that the media has played in this. I mean, what are your thoughts on the whole movement? I mean, I personally can say that I've seen a slight shift in the bigger brands, some of the bigger brands getting on board and changing their messaging, but it's nowhere near where it has to be or where it should be.
No. And again, when I was growing up, the media was not at all talking about self-love or women empowerment or body positivity. And now hearing it, and even though it's small steps, it's a step forward in making that change, right? So to me, it's like now that I see a couple of these commercials, or I go on social media and I see these women that have these imperfections, I'm like, you know what? So refreshing. I can really relate to these millions of women now who, again, using our words, perfectly imperfect, right?
I love it.
So for that reason, I think the more we hear it, as we were just mentioning earlier, and the more we see it, the more comfortable we are going to be in our own skin. And that, again, is going to help with those younger generations. So even though it's little baby steps, these little baby steps are going to make some huge impacts.
Do you think that these words like women's empowerment and body positivity and so, do you think that the media's use of them has turned them into buzzwords, where it's just like, these are the catchphrases, these are the cool words to use because they're the in thing to say? Do you think that that's true?
I could see where you're going with this, because it's everywhere, right? But it kind of is, it's the word. It's kind of like the hashtag, right? You you hashtag something, and then you got a bunch of people following it, and it's, so yeah, they are buzzwords. They're buzzwords to get your attention. If you're into it, then and it's going into your mind, and it's like in your subconscious. And I know where you're going with this, and I somewhat agree, but I also see a lot of the positive that comes with this stuff, because before you didn't see those words anywhere. Right. So now at least you see self-love here and there. You see women's empowerment. Oh yeah, what's this all about? Or what's this body positivity? And I really believe there's a big positive in just being verbal about this stuff. And yeah, you don't want it to get to a point where you're like, yeah, next, like, oh, there's another one. But you know who needs to start seeing these images? Men.
Yes,
okay.
For sure.
Men need to start seeing what real women really look like, and that this perfect, image of the perfect body doesn't really exist.
No, there's no such thing.
Right. So more men need to start following these women self-love, body positive stuff to be like, okay, my girl is, and that's just my opinion. But
no, you're right. I agree with you. I mean, the media has portrayed or created this incredibly unattainable and false sense or standard of beauty. It is completely unattainable and unattainable. Yep. These images in the magazines and in the media are airbrushed to shit.
Exactly.
I mean, it's incredibly false, but you're setting our kids up for a horrible outcome, because they think that this is what they're supposed to look like.
Exactly. Me being one of them growing up, right?
There you go.
So that's exactly what it is. But yeah, I agree with you in regards to, using these phrases. It's important in regards to how you're using them, right? So, you want to use it in a positive way. You want it to resonate with these younger generations. You want it to resonate with these women so they can start thinking about it in a good way. Not like, oh, okay, so they're just talking about women empowerment. Who really cares? No, you want them to be like, no, yeah, women empowerment. I'm a woman. I'm empowered. This is important. I love myself. I love my body. Like I see some commercials, and I just want to hands out for Dove, for example. I love Dove commercials. They are just regular people like us that are in those commercials. There's no more of that model, supermodel that's taking a shower, rubbing the, and that's where I mean that they should show that. That's where, you see the media. That's where I like to see most of it.
Yeah,
right?
that was one of the brands I was referring to, and without saying the name, but Dove is one of them. I think Aerie is another brand that's gotten on board with normalizing what, like showing you everyday women. That's what needs to happen. So there is a shift happening. There are a few brands. I just think we need a hell of a lot more brands to get on board and stop creating this false narrative of or false standard of beauty, because it's unattainable.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that, Brad, you're with us on this. That's the best part.
Thank you.
Being a man and all.
Now, back to your products again, and your affirmations and the mantras that you use with relation to your products. Like, one, for example, part of loving your body is also giving it love from the inside out. Or we want to scrub away the dead skin and all the negativity that no longer serves. I love those. Those are brilliant. So amazing. I love your messaging. It's so positive and uplifting. And I mean, was this a part of your marketing plan when you set out to create these products? Was this always something that you wanted to incorporate?
Yeah, you could say that. It's all part of the message. Yeah. Like what you eat, what you watch, who you surround yourself with is ultimately what loving yourself is about. So whenever I use a scrub, I have my little ritual where it becomes an internal and external cleanse. Okay. So, since I'm usually taking more time in the shower when I'm exfoliating, right? So once I exfoliate, I will literally shut off the water, let this goodness seep in. And it's in that bit of time, I imagine, letting go of all the negativity that no longer serves me. Whatever I've been going through that week, I will literally say goodbye to it. And maybe it's taking that mental minute to acknowledge myself renewing my internal vibe that makes me feel lighter when I get out. That's where the scrub away the dead skin and all the negativity that no longer serves you comes in, because loving yourself is definitely an inside job.
Oh, for sure. And everything, I believe, starts with self. The entire journey starts with self. And then you have to build on that foundation, and everything emanates out from that. And everything is affected outwards once you start inside.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. I've been so in love with your messaging.
We're so incredible. In love with you too.
It's amazing. I love it. Now, I also love the tagline you use for your company, espresso yourself. It's so catchy. I mean, how did you come up with the tagline, and which one of you came up with it?
Well, we both kind of came about it, and the way it kind of came about is that we use espresso grinds, right, in our products. So when we finished our first batch of doing the testing and putting the product together and saying, okay, this is like the perfected version of it. We both looked at each other literally as we finished it and packaged it, put it down. We looked at it. We both looked at each other literally, Brad, and said, let's express ourselves. And that was it. That was literally that's the end story.
That's awesome. I love it. Very organic.
We were like, this is the way to go. Cause we're like, how are we going to do this? And it just naturally came to us. So, the fact that it's a fun tagline, and it's catchy. It's just kind of
espresso in yourself. And literally espresso all over your body.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So that's right. Kind of like how it happened when we were going to go test it. We're like, yeah, let's go espresso ourselves.
I love it. It's, again, brilliant messaging and marketing. I love it. You ladies have made sure to focus the company's mission on not harming the planet, having a positive impact, using natural and fresh ingredients in your products, as you mentioned. Was this a decision that both of you agreed on and came to from the outset of starting the company? And why is this so important to you both personally?
Yes. This was non-negotiable for us. Our love for nature is deep. I mean, I haven't seen a tree that I don't want to hug, There is power in nature. And I think in the age of technology, we've really lost touch with Mother Nature. If we spend more time connecting, we will see a significant difference in our moods, right? And overall health. So, I mean, the earth has its own vibration. We just got to tap into it. And when it comes to natural products, it's a no-brainer. I mean, science and medicine just copy what it finds in nature and makes a chemical version of it, right? And sells it for millions. So everything good and healing comes from nature. Everything bad and destructive comes from a lab. That's just what we believe. So our product and future products will always be 100% natural because we want to make products that we love putting on our bodies.
Right.
You know,
right.
Like that's something that we like even prior to all of this, whenever we bought a product, I was always reading ingredients and I studied ingredients and I didn't get it. I was like, why does this crap has to be in this, right? Like unnecessary stuff that disrupts our hormones, and it's just absolutely horrible for us. When, you know, there's one thing to use a preservative, let's say, even that's horrible, but there's all this other crap that you don't know what it is that's in it. Yeah. Right?
You can't even pronounce the name of it.
You can't even pronounce the name. So it's like, you know what? Let's try our best to create like 100% natural stuff that when we put it on ourselves, we're like, oh, you know, that feeling when things are natural.
Awesome.
You get it.
I love it. Perfect. Now, you've also partnered with One Tree Planted. So for every product sold, you plant one tree. How did this partnership come about and why did you decide to partner with them?
Okay, well, the same idea with like loving Mother Earth, right? So we research ways we can contribute in her well-being, really, as a business. So there's many organizations out there that are doing great work, but One Tree Planted in particular has been our favorite. Even before business, we were taking part in tree planting events and donating. And I have two little kids, right? 4 and 6 years old. So it's important to me that they're educated and connected to nature. And I want them to take part in preserving our planet, really, for themselves, right? So that was a big deal for me to there's so many things we can be a part of. That was something that as a business, when we started, we're like, what charity or what are we going to do that we can give back? And because of our connection to nature and what we believe in it, and you know, I mean, listen, when the pandemic happened and we were all like forced to go inside, I remember my sister and I would go for walks. This is early on, right? This is when it was mandatory stuff. And the sky looked bluer. I could hear the birds singing. It was like nature. Yeah, it was like the earth was able to breathe again. And that was the biggest positive for me. I was like, oh my God, this would have never happened otherwise. There's no way we would be forced not to get in our cars, go to work where the roads were empty. There was literally a break in pollution.
There was, for sure. I mean, I can remember when it first hit, I read an article called Gaslighting, and it spoke about the fact that this is the first time in the authors, the person who wrote it, this first time in their history that the world has ever completely stopped. And you could do the things you wanted to do. You could take the time to slow down and enjoy nature and go. He said, it's the first time the skies have actually been blue in Los Angeles.
Blue.
It's the first time that you could see to the bottom of the Venice Canal in Italy. It's like all of these
that
things.
Amazing?
It is. It's incredible. All of these things started happening that we never took the time to notice or enjoy. I mean, tiny little things that mean so much, or the fact that, you know, you're caught up in the hustle and bustle of the day. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to do that. I've wanted to work on this thing for so long. I've never had the time. Well, now you have the time. So use it to your advantage. But there were a lot of people that didn't, though. They just sat and still are bitching and complaining and whining about, oh, this isn't fair. And this is not right that we're stuck at home and we can't. Use the time to your advantage.
Yeah, because you'll never get this again.
Exactly. It will never happen again. At least I don't think in our lifetime. Right?
At least we hope not.
I mean, we don't want it to happen again.
No, of course. But
I mean, a lot has come out of this, right?
For sure.
2020, that whole symbol of, it's vision. And it was. We all had to turn inside, look at our relationship, look at our lives. And then I think 2021, it's more like, okay, now let's work with this, like adapt to it or work with what we've realized, right?
Yeah, the new norm. This is it. We don't have any choice here.
Yeah. Look at all the new businesses that come out, though,
Exactly.
Like, so that's a positive, right? A lot of people going like, you know what, I'm going to start doing what I want to do. Like a lot of entrepreneurs came out of this pandemic.
Yes, for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been some horrible, horrible things that have happened and there's been loss and tons of all that. But I can honestly say I was having a conversation this morning. I've also noticed a shift with women. I talk about how there's not enough women in corporate in the corporate world that have C-suite level positions, or there's not equal pay. And I think that I've seen a shift since the pandemic where women are like, you know what? I'm done with that world. If you're not going to give me my due in the corporate world, fuck it. I'm going to make my own. I'm going to become the CEO of my company.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to make the change. Then if you're not going to do it for me, or if you're not going to give it to me on my merits, I'll fucking make it happen myself.
Yeah.
And
it's empowering, no?
It is. It's incredible. But I think, and it's great to see that shift. I just think we need to see a hell of a lot more of it. And I think we will.
No, absolutely.
It's the shift has started, which is amazing, but it just needs to move along a lot quicker, because I think we're still stuck in that old boys club mentality. But women are starting to wake up and say, you know what, fuck this. I don't need that. I'll start my own company and be my own CEO. And that's what it's about. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's what's come out of this.
It's funny because I saw a post a couple of days ago that said some guy goes to the girl, you know, what's your favorite position? And then he said, you know, CEO, right? So we had that as a post on our page about it. So it was really interesting.
I have to give a shout out to Andy, though. Andy, the social girl. That was she personally sent that to me, and I was like, we loved it. We loved it.
Yeah, Andrea is awesome. She's an awesome lady. Where do you ladies make your products? Is it just the two of you currently doing all that? And how many products do you currently offer in your lineup?
Yep. So it is the two of us right now that are currently doing all of that and making the product. And our headquarters, Lola headquarters, is our home. Okay. So it's nice because Hanieh has a nice kitchen that we get to work with. So paperwork is at my house, but you know, actually developing product there.
The lab is Hanie's place.
to start playing around is there. So currently, right now, we have our espresso scrub, which of course you know about, and we have some products that we're working on and we're developing. And
awesome.
We're actually, we're so excited because we're going to be launching a lot of these products early this year. So, you know, stay tuned, and anybody who's interested can always sign up for the newsletter on our website, and we can always let you know once these products are released. But we've got our brains cooking, and we're working in the kitchen. We're getting it together because we're so excited to move forward with this.
That's amazing. I picture you two as mad scientists, and I when I was thinking about you making your product, I'm like, do they have I could see them in a lab creating this shit, and it's like, no, we're just in Hanie's kitchen.
It looks like a lab because we have we got the hair nets in, and we got our gloves, so it looks like a lab. And I got an island that goes for miles, so it's just So it's
very cool.
It's been fun. Yeah,
very cool. What does the next 3 years look like for Lola Scrubz? Where do you ladies want to take this?
Well, we really want to be able to build a line of all natural products. You know, as we mentioned, we really strongly believe in natural ingredients. So we want to have them handpicked ingredients that are unique, but also very beneficial to our overall health. So, you know, we want to play an active role in making people overall feel really good. Right. And we want to use our platform and marketing to be able to do that. So in the long run, Lola is going to be that company that everyone thinks about as that all the products are natural. Every ingredient you can actually read. You can trust what they're providing. So that's where we want Lola to be.
To date, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
This is Haneih here, but I feel like I'll talk for both of us. Taking an idea and making it a reality. That is a high. Whenever we see people posting pics and their responses, that gives us a high. And that's a win for us because it's a reminder to keep going.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
Our passion for wanting to make a difference and taking part in this movement to empower women, men, all walks of life to live their truth, and our discipline to keep at it, you know? I would say that would be,
okay.
For sure be a superpower, yep.
How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
I would say, personally, and I think we both kind of are on the same page of this, is that to be able to define success is really doing what you love, doing, you know, what is your passion, something that makes you so happy when you wake up in the morning and you're like, wow, this is the life I'm living. I'm so blessed and I'm so successful. So I think we both agree is, you know, just love, you know, doing what we love. That would be success, right? And a lot of people don't get that opportunity or that chance in their life. True. and, you know, and they resent not taking the opportunities. Again, you know, as we were mentioning earlier at the pandemic, you want to do something, that is the opportunity to do it. Right. But yeah, so definitely we would say we're doing what we love.
Okay. What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
I could personally say, and I'm sure Hanieh would probably agree, but, you know, people that have gone through similar struggles as we have, right, that have succeeded, that really motivates us and that really inspires us. Because when we started kind of this journey, you know, there's moments of doubt and there's moments of questions that, oh, are we doing the right thing? Do you think this is going to work? Are people going to feel the passion that we feel? Are people going to love it the way we love it? So I think that, you know, hearing stories or seeing people like we do, we read a lot of blogs, we go on a lot of different social media channels that we watch, you know, different women that are in power of their lives, but are in charge of their lives and just following their kind of passions, right? And when you see someone that tells their story and says, you know, I've gone through a lot of struggles, I went through a lot of negative times and I went through doubt and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And look where I am now. And one story, for example, I always think about is the person who had started Spanx, and she had started in her home and she was like, you know, we're not sure, we're trying to get the product, everything had gone wrong, but look where they are today. Right. So that is very inspirational for us, right? Seeing people who are starting a journey like we are and they succeed. It's inspiring.
I think that when you show passion, when you have a passion for something that you're doing, like your business, and you're that passionate about it, you love it that much, it comes through in your work and people will pick up on that. And that will make them gravitate, or that will help them gravitate towards what you're doing or towards you or your brand. It just comes through when you're that passionate about something. It just bleeds through and people pick up on it.
Yeah. And that's why, like, to your question of your unique superpower, it's like when there's that much passion and then add some discipline to that, then you're bound to like reach some form of success.
For sure.
Right. Yeah.
What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before learning it? And what was your life like after learning it?
I would have to go with discipline. I think discipline is the most important skill you can learn, because discipline will show up when motivation is nowhere to be found. You know, I'm personally still working on building habits through practicing discipline, like waking up early and having that hour of power to myself. So I'm like ready to conquer the world. But before discipline, I was counting on motivation to get me going. Then after knowing motivation is like somewhat overrated, I've been counting on keeping myself disciplined just to stay committed to my personal goals. I mean, that's a big one for me. Like I was never a disciplined person, you know, and once I understood what discipline was about and why it is so essential to me reaching my goals, then I didn't care if I woke up today and I didn't feel like it, you know, because I have no motivation. I was like, it doesn't matter. I have to stay disciplined. I mean, and the motivation is not here today. I got to go with what I have to get done, which is staying disciplined, right? To get to my goal. So that was a big, I would say, life-changing, you know, skill that I picked up.
Okay. All right. What would you say is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received?
I would personally say that never give up, right? Because a quitter never wins and a winner never quits.
I like that.
Yeah, stay on track, keep going, right? Because at the end, that end result is going to be so rewarding.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I feel.
And sorry, was that Jen or Hanieh? Sorry.
That was Jen, and then I answer the next question.
No, you go ahead. No, I want to hear your what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
You know why? Because we both feel the same way.
Okay.
Like just the not quitting thing. Because sometimes it's like, you know, you're just one step behind from making it kind of thing, and then people quit. So that's a big one for us. I mean, we tell each other all the time whenever we have our moments, we're like, listen, we can't quit. We can't quit.
Yeah, we literally motivate each other. Like,
that's amazing.
One of us has a bad day, we're like, you know what? Don't worry. This is just a little hump that we have to get through. We're going to get over this, and it's going to be so good on the other side of this little mountain. So let's just go through it together. I'll hold your hand. You hold my hand. We got this.
That's beautiful. What do you think is the most common reason for people failing or giving up?
And that comes down to quitting as well. I think quitting in fear of failure. Like I've never met a successful person that was really a quitter. And I've never met a failure that wasn't afraid, you know? So I find those two things really go hand in hand, in my opinion. Right. Okay. So, yeah.
Jen, do you have a different view on that?
I would probably say, yeah, I think the fear of what would happen. I think I could agree with Haneih, the fear. I know there's moments where I'm scared saying, hey, is this going to be something good? And you kind of have a little bit of a lack of confidence, right? Cause you're doubting yourself. And that's where, I would say one of the common reasons where people just give up when you're not confident in knowing that you could be successful, where you just doubt who you are. Right. Yeah. So, that to me is very, yeah. So self-doubt is really, I would say, an important one.
Yeah. What is one of your favorite quotes?
So Jen here, I'm going to say my favorite quote. So one of my favorite quotes, and I think I write it almost everywhere, on my book, on my social media, everywhere. I would say that my favorite quote is that the two most important days of your life are the day that you were born and then the day you find out why, which is by Mark Twain. And I personally think that's very right on for me personally, just because, you want to know what your purpose is. What is my purpose here? Is it Lola? Is it to make people feel good? Is it to make women feel good, girls feel good, build the self-confidence? That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm striving for. Right. So, I find that one quote really just always in the back of my head.
I love it. And Hanieh?
I have two of them.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw two out there.
Sure.
One is the whole stay committed to your commitments. That is a big one for me. Like just stay committed to what you made a commitment to, whatever personal development stuff or anything. And then there is the no value to a thought if you don't execute it, because thought without execution is just hallucination, right?
That's awesome.
I don't know where it came from, but I had a mentor. I had someone a while back who kind of took me under his wing and was teaching me everything he knew when it came to like business and entrepreneurship. And that was his big thing. It's like, there's no value to your thought. If you're not going to execute it, that's great. You're thinking about it, And then he was like, and if you're thinking about it, not executing, you're just hallucinating. So get with it. And I was like, oh my God, that's so good.
That resonates. That's great.
Yeah.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Me, Haneih, for me, it's the process of becoming just more confident in controlling my life, calling the shots, being in power of my own destiny. That's pretty much what being, the whole word power. So being in my power and just fading out all the crap and unnecessary shit in my head. Yeah. And doing what I think I should be doing.
Okay. Jen?
Pretty similar, just, having power and control over my life. Right. But, to a degree and, really just representing my own interests and obviously in self-determined way, acting on my own and being my own authority, right. Taking control of who I am, what I do, when I do it, how I do it. Yeah. Right. So that's what empowerment means to me, just having my own power, right? Nobody else is controlling what I do.
Yeah. If you could set up a billboard anywhere, where would you put it and what would it say?
I'm going to say that me and Haneih both agree on this, and it would say espresso yourself, and it would be right on the Gardner Expressway as you're driving down in Toronto. Just on your way, right behind is the CN Tower. That's what that would be. And it would be an imperfectly perfect woman on there as that like little mottos on there, slogan on there for you. Yeah, 100%. I think we both agree on that, right? Yeah.
What is your personal motto?
My personal motto has always been, and I think being in sales for 15 years has always been, keep your eye on the prize, right? Okay. Because, as long as you keep your focus and your determination on what your end goal is, you will be successful, because that will give you the drive and determination that you need to get there.
Okay. Haneih?
For me, it's if you want to change your personal reality, you must change your personality.
Look at you. You're a poet.
Dr.
You didn't
Joe
know it.
Dispenza. Dr. Joe. Yeah.
Love it.
That was a big one for me. That was when I learned it. Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's amazing. I love him to death. That one I stick by.
Okay. All right. We're going to do a little rapid fire question here for a few. Just 1, 2, 3 word answers. And I want to hear from each of you on these. Okay. How would you describe yourself in one word?
I am adaptable.
And I'm ambitious.
What's the first thing you notice about a person?
We both said eyes.
Yeah, eyes.
Okay.
The window to the soul.
Yeah.
That's the whole story, their whole life story through their eyes.
Okay. Do you have any guilty pleasures?
So this is Jen. Yes, bundling up in my robe with a big bag of Sour Patch Kids.
Hanieh?
For me, it's got to be chocolate and reality TV, like the Housewives. I just can't live without those Housewives.
All right. Money or fame?
We both agree. I think money, because you can do so much more with money and helping others and giving to others. Mm-hmm. So 100% money.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
We're both night owls.
Night owls, yeah.
What's the first thing you think when I say the word future?
I think of robots. I do. Total Recall and robots.
I think about Total Recall. I remember seeing that movie and thinking, would that really be reality? And I would probably say about 85 to 90% is a reality now.
Okay. What's one thing you want but cannot buy with money?
This is Jen. I would probably say love. Okay. You know, it's one thing I want from a lot of people that are in my life, and just personally in a relationship level, that I can't buy with money. So yeah, 100% love, I would say. Okay.
Hanieh?
I will have to say, I had left that question for Jen. I was like, you deal with that one. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I would say the only thing comes into my mind is freedom. It's not like I'm trapped, but it's just that, like with kids and all, like just, no. It's not a negative. I don't know. Freedom.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
On all levels. Right.
Yep. Entrepreneur life is?
Blood, sweat, and tears equals freedom.
Following your passion, your love, right?
Yep. If I had an extra hour a day, I would
read Harlequin novels and sleep.
Jen?
I would say definitely sleep, but also meditating. I'm not meditating enough, and I do 5 minutes, and it's just not enough for my brain to get in the zone. So definitely some more time for meditating.
Okay. My favorite way to unwind is?
For me, Jen here, is personally just to go for a walk and just reflect about my day and just like literally just let it just leave me, all the stress and everything that happened in the day, just through a walk and just getting in the zone. That is so rejuvenating for me.
Hanieh?
I can't say what I really want to say, so I'm going to stick with
meditation. You can say whatever you want. Say what you feel. Don't hide it.
And my, listening to this. Well, I'm very much an advocate for cannabis.
Okay, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
But meditation is one way I love to unwind.
Okay.
The last CBD is not around.
Hey, that's okay. I mean, you can say it, no problem. The last book or podcast I listened to or read was?
Your podcast. It was yours.
Awesome, thank
Julie
you.
Walls. And then the book would have been Untamed, Glennon Doyle. I mean, it's a must read if you're on this empowerment train.
Mm-hmm. Jen?
For me, it was Educated by Tara Westover. I know there was a lot of discussions in the summertime about that book, so it's a great read as well.
Okay. If you came with a warning label, what would yours say?
This is Jen here. This is my favorite question, Brad. It'd probably be proceed with caution.
Okay.
Because if you get me when I'm hot, I might burn.
Hanieh?
Mine is high voltage. I'm high energy.
Okay.
I'm high energy.
Excellent. If you had a theme song that played every time you walked into a room, what song would that be?
Our song, both of us, is Every Day We're Hustling. I mean, it's the song we put on before we start working by Rick Ross,
All right. If you could sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with anyone in the world, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
For me, it's Dr. Joe Dispenza. He just teaches about the unlimited power of the mind, and I find his teachings very fascinating.
Okay, Jen?
Yes.
I'd probably have to say Princess Diana. She is, in my eyes, the most genuine and authentic person who has a heart of gold. And her mission was always in life was to help people and to make the world a better place. And that's really everything that I stand for. And I would love to sit down with her and just have her talk for hours and me listen. Yeah.
What is the most recent investment you've made in yourself?
I think we can both agree that following our dreams and making Lola a reality, right? 4 years ago when we had first started this first test run, we talked about it. We made it for family, friends. We got their feedback. We had jobs, so we didn't pursue it further. But now that we've pursued it, and it's a reality, I would say this is the most recent investment that we've both done for ourselves.
Amazing. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Haneih here. I would say never settle, and knowing my worth, and never settling is not, and the never settling is not always in matters of love, right? It can be your career, your home, your dreams. Yeah. I mean, I'm still a work in process, but I'm learning that living my truth will be my pursuit towards my happiness. Is one thing I would definitely tell my younger self and my children is living our truth is the only way forward. Really. Okay.
Love it. Jen?
I would probably say that, don't let anyone crush your dreams or tell you that you can't do something, because those who are trying to crush it don't have any dreams of their own, right? Because anyone who's telling you that you're not worth it or you're not going to make it, is not something positive you want in your life. You want people to uplift you and make you strive to be the best person that you can be. Right. And for you to see what your passion is, see what your goals are, so you can be successful and happy at the end of the day. So I growing up was discouraged, and some were, unfortunately, teachers and people in school. And I always got discouraged, but always in the back of my mind, I resented myself for not just doing it, even when someone told me not to. So,
again, this is a message that goes, I think, hand in hand with what we spoke about earlier in terms of instilling these values into our kids starting from a young age. This too should be instilled in our children, that you can accomplish anything in life that you want as long as you put in the work and you set your mind to it. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do anything. Never, ever. Don't let them discourage you. And I mean, I think that part of the problem as well is the fact that we are our own worst enemies. I think that's even worse than the external noise, is our own self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? If sometimes what happens is when we have someone, tell us that we can't do it, we start, doubting ourselves, and that voice in our head keeps telling us, no, you can't do it. No. And we start doubting ourselves and telling ourselves that, no, I'm not going to pursue this. There's no point. This is silly. This is a silly idea. I'm not going to do it. But don't ever think that any idea is stupid. I look at some of the most successful people, and they had people tell them, no, this is not going to make it. I'm a huge Shark Tank fan. And I watch a lot of that, and the people that come on there, and they tell them, no, this is a stupid idea, and they go out and they pursue it and they keep going, and look where they are today, some of them. It's amazing. So it is.
Okay, lastly, ladies, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, what would that 30 seconds sound like?
For me, so Jen here, it would be, kind of in relation to the advice I give for myself, but that is to live your life to the fullest with no regrets. Don't let someone tell you that you can't do something. You can't be someone, right? Worst thing in life is not being able to follow your heart and follow your dreams, because you will live in regret. And again, I have, something in my past that I resent, and you don't ever want to resent anyone who has stopped you from living your true self.
Haneih?
Mine would be do things daily that keep you vibrating with your authentic self, because it's a life wasted to try to really be anyone else, and remembering that what someone thinks of you is really not your problem. So don't put so much weight on people's opinions. Don't be afraid of losing people, be afraid of losing yourself when trying to please everyone around you. So just be sassy, be classy, and a little badassy,
I love it. That's a good one. I think I will use that.
So we live by
that one. That saying is, other people's opinions of you is none of your business, right?
Yeah, like it really is none. I mean, they come from their own experiences. That's their opinion, right? It's not what's really going on, right? So
for sure. Well, ladies, thank you so much. This has been a blast. I've loved every minute of it. And I'm going to say it again. I love what you ladies are doing with your messaging behind the product. And it's so inspiring, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking the time, both of you, to be here and share your journey and talk about what you're doing. And it's so incredibly inspiring. I love everything you're doing. And I have no doubt in my mind that you guys will blow the roof off of shit. You guys will be so successful.
Thanks, Brad. Honestly, it means a lot to both of us that you allowed us to be on your podcast, because Empowerography, since we listened to a couple of your podcasts, we were just like, oh my God, he's amazing.
And this is another platform, right? This is another platform that you're building, that you're allowing women to use their voice, to use their experiences, to have someone like us listen to some of your other guests that you had and the things they've accomplished. Like, that is what it's all about. And you are doing your part in a big way. So we want to say thank you, 100%. You know, for doing what you do, because
you're awesome.
Yeah,
you're absolutely
and it's
awesome.
going to
Thank you.
And go to sleep and wake up hearing the word awesome all day long. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I will. I'm so impressed with what you ladies are doing, and I really, truly appreciate you. I am the one who is completely honored to have you women as guests on the podcast and share your story. I'm wanting to be part of this community and help me grow it. I mean, together we grow this thing as a community.
100%.
Together we thrive. So I want you to know that I appreciate you, and I am honored to have you
Ditto.
as a guest on my show. So thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guests have been Hanieh and Jen. They are the owners and founders of Lola Scrubz, based right here in Toronto. Have an amazing rest of the day, ladies.
Thank you. You too, Brad.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at viseuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.